What is up, everybody? Let me know how you're doing in the chat. This is probably going to be a real quick one because there isn't much going on. You guys able to hear me this time? What's up, Desert Sunset? Yeah, so I don't know what happened when we got done live streaming the board and all of that in Pennsylvania. I don't know what happened. My software cut out. I had to contact customer service and stuff. I don't know what was happening. Hey, what's up, Susan? Yeah, we're live. There's only 80 people in here. I'm sure most of my audience is hanging out with Uncle Salty Cracker over there. I see he was live. But I really wanted to do this earlier, and I wasn't able to because of technical difficulties, I guess. But I wanted to discuss how it went in Pennsylvania and what all of you guys' thoughts are. And I know lots of people got opinions because my comments been blowing up since we cut that live feed. Lots of people crying. Lots of people crying. You know. I don't know. They might have went out there and bought all that bathroom tissue, but you know they didn't get no tissues for their eyes because they're over my channel crying. Ooh, they crying hard. You guys get off this. Why don't you go ahead and go through that last live feed from earlier today, and go through the comments. You'll see what I'm talking about. People crying their eyes out. I don't really understand it. There ain't nothing to cry about. You should be happy that that people want to take the time to make sure that all the votes are legitimate. Like I feel like everybody would want that. So it's surprising to see so many people crying hard too, man. People telling me I look like Antifa. Antifa is a mindset. Antifa is a behavior. I'm the physical form of a mindset. Good Lord. I knew I was special. I know I was that special. People are just silly. People are so silly. You could have a red truck, and they would swear up and down it's green, and they would just tell you to death how green it is. You know it's red. You start looking around like, am I the only one that thinks it's red? Like, this is a red truck. The title said it's a red truck. These people crying in my chat, they think it's a green truck. It's real funny. So I'm just waiting for the chat to fill up just a little bit. I don't expect a whole lot of people to show up. I know it's the day before Thanksgiving, so I know you guys are probably in the kitchens cooking. Some of you guys are probably got your wives cooking. You're over there bothering them and, you know, tasting all the food and stuff and getting yelled at. Probably been swatted about 100 times now. Getting told to get out of the kitchen. We don't listen. We don't listen on Thanksgiving. We got to try everything. Yeah, I know how it goes. So what the plan is I have the video, the live from earlier loaded up, and we're going to watch the end of it, pretty much like the very end of it, when they kind of do a summary and make their final decision and stuff. And then I figured we could discuss it. That way, anybody that wasn't there for the live or anything like that, they can kind of see what happened for themselves instead of learning their news from memes and wherever else they learn it from. So yeah, just letting it fill up a little bit before we move on. Maybe if we can hit 200 or so. But while we wait, big shout out to all my hooligans. I see a lot of green names in the chat. That's always good to see. Really appreciate all you guys. You guys are awesome. Everyone, please hit that like button. The more likes that we get in a short period of time, the more people the algorithm will bring into the chat to come hang out with us and, see what's going on and be a part of the discussion. Never really had a discussion on here, so we're going to try and make the most of it. And it's going to be quick. There's not a lot going on as far as footage. This live feed right here is from Chicago, and I guess it's supposed to be about traffic. You would probably like to think like, oh, that's a nice aerial view, but they probably got this up for all the scared people. Everybody's scared, like, oh my goodness, look at all the traffic. Everybody's just spreading COVID everywhere. My goodness. Whatever. It's all funny to me. You're not digging D Live. Why don't you like D Live? Who's all on D Live? If you're not on D Live, please go in the description. Follow me on D Live. Yeah, Eswin, let me know. Let me know why you don't like D Live. I'm not familiar with it. We're on D Live right now. I don't know if anybody's watching it because I don't have it pulled up right this second. But yeah, what is wrong with D Live? I think it's kind of neat. It's all bright and colorful, and I can interact with the chat. What's cool about D Live is you can earn what's called lemons, and that's like credits or whatever. Yeah, it's like credits. It's like their own currency, but you can earn it just by being in the chat and hanging out and being cool. I'm sure there's other ways to earn it, but you can earn it like that. And then if you wanted to make donations and stuff, it's not really coming straight out of your pocket. So that's kind of cool. D Live is Chinese owned. Well, Smiling Cat, I wouldn't know. I don't talk like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about D Live being Chinese owned. It might be. I don't know. I'm not saying it's not. Hey, thanks, Michael. Upgrading your membership. You're an even bigger hooligan now. Look at you. But yeah, I don't know. All I know about D Live is they're not trying to censor me right now. Okay, YouTube likes to do it. They like to come after me every now and then, and that's okay because I think they just do it because they think I'm cute. Wow, undecided. You just put my business out there. All right. All right. Well, I guess this is probably the most we're going to have in the chat. I'm thinking. I keep seeing the number going up and down. I don't want to have to keep repeating myself because that gets old. And I'm very well aware of that. But I'm trying to make sure everybody here can see this. Anybody that's not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon. That way you'll be notified every time we go live. I do my best to try and go live every single night, sometimes more than once in a day. Trying to cover anything and everything we can find happening across our country. What I was talking about was D Live being Chinese owned. Somebody said that in the chat. I've heard that a couple times. I don't know. I don't know if that means I'm supposed to hate it or whatever. I'm not on all the same stuff you guys all been on. I've only been into politics for like 5 months now. Okay, so I don't know a whole lot about that stuff. All I know is I don't just hate somebody just because they're somebody. They got to give me a reason to hate them. I signed up for D Live because they want to censor me here on YouTube, and if they decide to ban me or whatever, then I'll just be live on there. I usually go live on Twitch, which is why you can see the Twitch logo in the lower left hand corner. Twitch don't like me though. People on Twitch do not watch my stuff. I don't understand. I don't know if it's because a bunch of kids over there on Twitch. Most of the time we got like 6 people watching, and that wasn't worth it. So now we stream on D Live and we stream on YouTube until YouTube kicks me. All right, so we're pretty much staying right around 170. So I think we're going to start the feed from earlier. We're going to listen to it. It's not going to be very long, but it's just to give everybody kind of like a an idea of what we're going to be talking about and stuff. And like I said, it's going to be really quick. I know you guys all are excited about Thanksgiving tomorrow. I will be going live tomorrow. I don't know when. I'm just sure I will be. I don't know what we're going to talk about, and I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe I'll dress up like a turkey and try and do a backflip with no pants on. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But I'll try and do it at a time where you guys are all comfy and sitting in your chairs and falling asleep, and you can sit there and look at my ugly smile until you doze off. How about that? So we're going to get started here just a moment.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everyone.
All right. As I mentioned, we're going to listen to the end of this live stream from earlier, and then we're going to talk about it because I think it's really interesting. So let's take a listen. Fair warning, okay? Before you guys start just tearing me up in the chat, I cannot turn this up any louder. You know, every time we're watching something like this with the board or politicians, other than the president, right? The president's always loud and clear, but other than the president, you can't never hear nobody. Like half the time their mics don't work and they're real quiet, or they got a mask on and you can't hear them muffling through their mask. It's just, it's hard to absorb the fact that these people are politicians and they do public speaking on a day-to-day basis, but they just can't seem to be loud enough for anyone to hear them. Now, I also had this thought, and you guys let me know what you think. I think that whoever is in control of these microphones, because halfway through it, you could see them go through and swap out the mics and stuff, but it seems like all the mics they set on the table didn't work. They weren't recording sound, or at least they weren't passing the sound onto the video. So what I was wondering is, if these people are talking about stuff that people don't want to hear, like the truth, maybe they turn their mics down. Maybe they give them janky mics on purpose. Yeah. So, just so you know, it's really quiet. Turn it up. Let's go.
One, for your patience. The public, our many witnesses, our senators and representatives, as you've seen today, this COVID pandemic has made holding a public hearing a little bit more challenging than usual, but we have still received an enormous amount of information today, information that we will share with every one of our members. There is no doubt in my mind that we will pass legislation in the House and the Senate based on what we have learned today. I also want to thank Senator Mastriano. Doug and his staff have been enormously helpful today. It really goes without saying, we would not be here without Doug Mastriano, and so I'm going to give him the last word, because I know even if I didn't, he'll take it anyway. And he deserves to have it. Doug.
I love you, Senator Argyle. Thank you for being willing to use your committee to do this hearing. So we pulled the trigger yesterday morning around 9 a.m., and look what happened here. And as Jesus said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Guess what? Guess what? The truth's out there. Media, you should have found these witnesses. You need to do your job. Now you see them out here. Do your job. You're essential to this republic, and without you doing your job, instead of being partisan hacks, this republic can't stand. So now you got some information, you got some witnesses with courage. These people are heroes to me. As a retired Army colonel, I look at them and I say, you guys are outstanding. Thanks for being willing to step up. Because I am cognizant that the so-called tolerant people on the left will not show much love or tolerance to people they disagree with. And so thank you for standing, because you're warriors, being able to stand for and save this republic. So thank you for going forward here. I mean, indeed, I started this off quoting from John Adams. We are in Adams County. You know, facts are stubborn things. There's a lot of hard facts out there, and guess what? As history and change in 1863 in Gettysburg, back then it's July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, so on this day, history is changing for our country and state back at Gettysburg once again. I mean, I don't even know how this happened in America. We could send 50 years ago, you know, men to the moon, but we can't have a safe, secure election in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. What's going on here? It's got to be by design, because we have the technology, we have stealth aircraft that are the envy of the world, but we can't run an election better than Afghanistan. Congressman Perry, you and I are in Afghanistan, and I don't know how in the heck Afghanistan has more secure, safe elections than Pennsylvania does. I mean, beam me up, Scotty. There's no sign of intelligent life anywhere. Really? We move heaven and earth with American dollars to secure elections in Iraq and Afghanistan and elsewhere. We can't do it in our own state. It's by design. There's people in Pennsylvania not interested in safe, secure elections, and we have to correct this. There's two things that need to happen. First off, we need to make sure the real winner is sent forth from this presidential election. And number two, we need to fix this. This doesn't happen ever again. You know, I can't believe we're having this conversation here in Pennsylvania. You know, this is the kind of stuff I hear about that goes on in Belarus under Lukashenko, or in Russia under Putin, under Saddam Hussein's Iraq. Really? Here in our state? I mean, this is disgusting to me. You know, I watched when I was doing strategy in Russia, you know, Putin's people stuffing ballot boxes. The same thing that happened in Pennsylvania. When I saw that 15, 20 years ago, I was like, well, thank God we're not like that. What happened? What happened? And we're not going to let it stand. You know, I saw, you have to forgive people because we are a constitutional republic, so I'll forgive those that say democracy, but I saw one man had a sign in Philadelphia, and the irony wasn't lost on me. Democracy dies in Philadelphia. Can you imagine the irony of that? You know, where the light of liberty was lit in 1776, it transformed this world. We're in this very same state, a new birth of freedom. And then, of course, let's not forget 2001, Todd Beamer, let's roll. You know what? It's our time to roll. This is no time. You know, democracy can die in darkness, in dark rooms with no transparency and accountability. We're shining light on this darkness here. We're going to take our state back. We're not standing aside in this hour. You know, as Representative Metcalf rightly said, in 1994, there was so much shenanigans and cheating in the Marks versus Stinson case that a federal district judge threw out the election results, took a senator out of Harrisburg, state senator, and put the Republican in because the election results were so corrupted. So we do have a precedent here, federal courts, and I hope you take a hard look at that here. Has our election results in Pennsylvania at the presidential and other levels been so corrupted that the results have to be thrown out? That's going to be a case you're going to have to make before the Supreme Court there, but it sure sounds like something stinks in Denmark or in Philadelphia. I don't know. You know, one vote, one person, one legal vote per person, and any cheating goes in there disenfranchises an American. And I can't believe this is happening here, and we're not going to let it stand. I don't know why it's so hard. You know, I know it's hard because this has been going on here for a lot longer than we imagined. But in Galatians 6:9, we're told by St. Paul, grow not weary doing good, because in due time you'll reap your harvest. We're going to reap our harvest.
Hey, thank you so much, Mr.
The time for dithering.
Mr. Tix, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for being here every day. You're awesome.
For decisive action. We have to protect our Commonwealth and our nation. The eyes of the world are upon us, and let's turn the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania from a laughing stock to the pride of the world once again, as we've always had been and need to be again.
Hey, thank you so much, Norman. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
This is our time. So yes, Mr. Franklin, a republic, if you can keep it, we're going to keep it. Can you keep it? Can you? Will you? We're going to keep the republic. Thank you, and God bless you all.
All right. So how many of you, is that the first time that you watched that? Because this is the this is my actual live stream from earlier, which I wanted to have a discussion at the end, but then all of a sudden out of nowhere I started having technical difficulties and my software would not allow my microphone to be heard. It was on my end, it said, you know, there's signal through the meters and stuff, but on your guys' end, you could not hear me. I had to work it out with customer service. So what do you guys think about all of that? What do you think about how this went down in Pennsylvania? All right. Well, since we were live, I've had lots of people commenting and stuff, and I think it's really interesting that most people that I see commenting are either crying, you know, oh, Biden won, get over it, even though they screamed to Russia for 3 years, which I think is interesting. That I think that statement on its own is really interesting, because if there is fraud, why wouldn't you want that to be found out? Like, no matter who you vote for, no matter who you support, who you think should win, who you think should be in office, why would you want it to be okay that there's fraud? And if you don't think there's fraud, then why do you care that it's being investigated? Because if there's no fraud and they investigate it, one, it would kind of make it look like a waste of time for everybody who put their work into it, which if you're against the Trump campaign, why would you care, right? Why would you care that they spent money and time chasing a ghost? That doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, like, why wouldn't you want them to figure out if there is fraud or not? Because if there's no fraud, Biden won fair and square. Good for you. Go do a cartwheel, right? Like, why wouldn't you want that? If there is fraud, then Biden is, you know, under treason. He's a traitor to the country. Why would you want that to be your president? Why would you want somebody that had to cheat to win? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So it seems really un-American to just be like, stop counting, like, stop the recount, you know, stop pursuing an investigation on if this is fraud. Everybody should want it. Everyone should want the recount. Everyone should want to prove that this is either fraud or not fraud. Do the investigation. Like, you should want to be proven one way or another without a doubt, right? Anybody that's ever been in court probably can understand this. You know, anything that gets brought up in court needs to be proven flat out. It is either right or it is wrong, and that's it. Everybody that's screaming show any fraud, that's the point of going to the Supreme Court. They're going there so they can lay down the evidence that there is fraud or there's not fraud, and have the Supreme Court figure it out, because that's their job. And everybody's like, look at everybody in the chat crying. People getting their feelings hurt. Get your tears right. Wipe your face off. You look ridiculous. Okay, stop crying in my chat and just perk your ears up. You might learn something. And it's funny because I'm not even in politics. Okay, I don't know anything about politics. I know the difference between right and wrong. I know the difference between the truth and lies. So here's another thing to wrap your head around, and a lot of people can't. And I think it's crazy. Just because you believe there's fraud does not necessarily mean that you're pro-Trump. I know everybody just saying there's fraud does not mean that you're pro-Trump, right? Like, It's ridiculous how people put you in a category where you have to be one or the other. But we're in America. You don't have the right to tell anybody what side they got to pick, how many sides there are, right? You have the freedom to not vote if you choose not to. So you see all these people, the same people crying are the same people telling you what you should do. They're the same people telling you, oh, you don't want to just accept the fraud, you must love Trump then. Well, if you're so smart, why are you crying? Yeah, ugly crying, there you go. Just ugly crying. Just weeping, right? Just weeping. And I'm not talking about a left or a right. I'm not talking about Democrats or Republicans. I'm talking about Americans who aren't thinking. They're just not using their brain. Okay? They come into my chat crying, calling me Antifa, like we already talked about. That's not even a thing, right? It's a behavior. It's a thought process. I'm the physical form of a behavior from what people say in my comments and in my chat. It's just, I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed that we have so many Americans out here that are so excited about what's going on, but they don't think. They don't think at all. They're just too busy trying to find reasons to hate other Americans. And I see it every day, all day, and it probably affects me in a major way because of how much time I spend here covering all this stuff day to day. It is frustrating when people try to debate me and I'm watching it live with my own eyeballs, and people debating me, they read it live on Facebook. I read this meme and it said this, that, and the other. It's got to be true. So, okay, well, I watched it live and I watched it fall out of that person's mouth. Oh, no, they don't want to hear that. Just like when I started this. I started playing this. I seen 2 or 3 people in the chat. Oh, this is fake news. How is it fake news? We watched the whole thing live. It's live right now. Like, their brain don't work. I don't know. It's like their brain don't work. I don't get it. It's disappointing, because I don't hate anybody. I don't hate anybody. Even if they hate me, I don't hate them back. It's not their fault they're stupid, It has to do with how they were raised, has to do with their environment, has to do with their friends and family and other variables. That doesn't mean they're not stupid. It just may not necessarily be their fault. And it's just, it's disappointing. But I was really wondering what all of you guys, all of you hooligans out there, what you guys think. Because I know I'm not fighting against these crybabies on my own. I'm not fighting with them all. It's crazy how it's happening. Like many of you know, I'm a rap artist, but I also do music production and audio engineering. Okay, I accidentally started doing this. I don't know why. It just comes natural. It's going really well. I'm happy to have all of you guys. I'm ecstatic to have all of you hooligans. I talk about you all day, every day. It's like all of you are my girlfriend. We're the hooligan family. But I'm watching Instagram, right? Watching a versus battle. A versus battle is 2 rappers on a show, a new show or whatever, doing their thing. It's kind of like Flavor of Love. No, not necessarily. But anyways, in the chat, all people gotta do, you must love Trump. Oh, you must love Trump. Oh, these people look like Antifa. What does that have to do with rap? What does that have to do with rap? It ain't got nothing. The stupidity is just spilling over. It's everywhere. It's unbelievable. It's completely unbelievable. But yeah, so let me know in the chat what you guys think about all this. How do you guys feel about how this went? And for those of you that did not see the whole thing, one, it is posted on my channel, so you can go back and watch it. It's like a 3-hour live, so maybe after you sit down with some turkey tomorrow, you can check it out if we're not live during that time. But what is his name? Mayor Giuliani, I think his name is. He was, he had a lot to say. He was, like he has been doing, reading numbers and whatnot. But the difference between what we saw here today versus what we've seen in Michigan, and I'm a Michigander, for those that don't know. In Michigan, everybody that went to speak or comment or have something to say was reading a speech. I mean, you could tell it was very obvious. They basically would not make a statement and then just kind of be like, well, you should just certify. And then they would just hang up. You know, they didn't want to answer no questions. It was a lot like that Facebook and Twitter interview we seen with the Senate, where Zuckerberg just kept saying, oh, well, I'll have to follow up with you. Oh, I can't answer that. I'm going to have to follow up with you. It was a lot of that going on when they were certifying in Michigan. So what I thought was interesting in Pennsylvania, one, they didn't talk over each other. I mean, other than Zoom calls, but of course there's internet delay and stuff. They let everybody speak. Everybody had really interesting stories and whatnot about what they seen, what they heard, their interactions and whatnot, and you got to hear them out. But you've seen a lot of agreements. You know, how do you have so many dead people voting? How do you have dead people voting at all? That should make people worry. And no, people don't. We're not gonna worry about that. We're not gonna worry about dead people voting. If you don't think it's true, why do you care if it goes to the Supreme Court? Why do you care that they're investigating it? It's not true. It shouldn't matter, right? So I just seen in the chat, Biden won by this many. Here's something that I think a lot of those people who feel that way haven't thought about. If we find out, not me, of course, because I'm just putting it on the live for all of you guys to either love it or, write crybaby stuff in my chat. If it is found out that there is fraud, even a little bit, right? They find, I don't know, 1,000 fraudulent votes. Okay. And number-wise, Biden number's higher, right? Biden still has a high number versus Trump. But we find out that those 1,000 votes of fraud came all the way from the top. I know this is going to be difficult to understand. If we find out that Biden is connected to fraud, that's treason, making him a traitor to the country. He is an enemy of the country at that point. You understand? So it doesn't matter if Biden wins by 500,000 million votes, right? Because he's still a traitor. It's still treason. Do you understand? He would still be a criminal. Therefore, he could not be the president regardless of how many votes he is in the lead by. Does that make sense? Like, to me, that makes sense. Another thing people are not thinking about is, yes, stalling the certification and stuff does do stuff. It prolongs stuff. But it does not change the fact that certification has to happen before the audit process can happen. So not only is this going to the Supreme Court, but if they call for an audit, the certification has to happen first. So even though we just certified here in Michigan, supposedly we're blue. I don't know anybody that's blue, personally. I don't. I've never seen a Biden sign. I've never heard anybody talk nice about Biden. Over here and where I live in Michigan, it's not blue. Okay, now that doesn't say nothing about me. I'm neutral. Okay, that doesn't mean everybody around me is. So it was shocking to see us not only go blue but certify blue. But what does it matter? Because they could turn around and audit the state, which they're already saying they're going to, and force them to testify and put forth affidavits saying that, basically they put their life on that is true, that what they're saying is true. Okay. But if they're found fraud, they're going to do prison time. So people who are saying, oh, Biden's winning by this much, or stop investigating into fraud, or, stop crying, just accept it. Your brain don't work. You must not even be old enough to vote. That's the only thing I can come up with, is that you must not be old enough to vote, or you're disabled in one way or another. And it's unfortunate that we're just misunderstanding your cries for help. Okay? Now, I'm not with or for or against or about anything. I'm about the truth. So it doesn't bother me at all that it's going to the Supreme Court. It doesn't bother me at all that they're, in the investigation of fraud. It is unfortunate that all of us have to deal with this. personally, and this is probably going to give me a ton of flack, the kickback from this, but I really want to know what you guys think. I think that you should be able to log into a federal website, enter in your social security number and your information, your ID and all that stuff, and vote right there. And then view votes as public knowledge. Now, I'm sure everybody's turning against me at this point, but if voting was public information, this could not happen. This would never happen again. What's so interesting is that because it's not public information, and because we can't count it ourselves, right? We can't count the votes. We can't go through and see if little Timmy down the street voted for Biden or Trump. You can't tell. You don't know. You don't know, okay? You cannot count the votes yourself, and to me, that's wrong. It should be public information. So when I went and I voted, I asked the lady that. Why isn't this public information? Because she wanted me to be all secretive and stuff. Wait a minute. I shouldn't have to worry about any kind of blowback. I should be able to openly talk about who I want to vote for or not vote for. You should be able to walk in here and see my name on the board, see, yes, I did vote. Hey, thank you, Don Brake. I really appreciate you joining the membership program. You're officially a hooligan. But yeah, you should be able to walk in to where I voted, see my name on the wall, see who I voted for, and the fact that I did vote. And then after all of that stuff gets certified, you should be able to log into a website and see everybody who voted, who they voted for, count them up, make the votes make sense. Because if that happened, we couldn't have fraud. We couldn't have lies. We couldn't have, forged signatures and fake numbers and all this crap. It would never happen, but because it's a big secret, we are giving them the power to do this to us. All of us. Whether you're red team or blue team, smart guy, dumb guy, we're all going through this because it's a big secret. So I asked the lady when I went to vote, why is this a big secret? I think it should be public knowledge. She almost threw up. She gasped so hard she almost collapsed a lung. Why would you want that? I said, well, I think it should be public knowledge. Why don't you? She said, what if somebody came and did something to you? Like what? She's like, well, if you vote red team, then blue team is going to hate you. If you vote blue team, the red team is going to hate you. And I looked at her and I said, yeah. Well, we have laws, we have rights, and we have police officers to uphold the peace. So, again, why should I worry about blowback? I'm an American. I should be able to vote and do whatever I want. Say who I voted for. And if you want to blow my tires out, you want to put a gun to my head, you want to come and say something wrong to my kid or something like that, we all know what's going to happen. But what I'm going to say is I can call the police and they can do their job. And that person can kick rocks and suck cock in jail, okay? So that's what they could do. So that's probably going to get my video banned. But that's what, why has it got to be a big secret? Okay, so this person says privacy laws. What about when you break the law? They put your face in the paper against your will. They put all your business up on the internet. It's all public information. You can see what crimes I committed, but you can't see who I voted for or whether or not I voted. I don't know. It's weird to me. It's weird to me that it's a big secret. Anyways, that's just my opinion. Here we are enjoying a big old heaping spoonful of fraud, or at least fraudulent accusations. Let's say that so everybody doesn't start crying in my chat. I don't worry about my hooligans. My hooligans know, because all my hooligans are in the Discord, and we have discussions like this all the time. So if you guys are not a part of the Discord, go in the description, click the link, join the Discord. Doesn't cost anything. If you use a computer, I don't even think you have to download anything. But it's cool. You can hang out with all of us hooligans all day, every day. and whatever. It's fine if you think it's a bad idea. I appreciate the feedback. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I legitimately want to hear what you guys have to say about this, you know. I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking all of these things. But yeah, so I just wanted to run this live, show the clip, hear from you guys, have a little conversation here and there. I planned on doing this after the live feed, but like I said, some sort of technical difficulty made it so you guys were not able to hear me. I guess that's true, HB. Could be. Most people want to be slimy and stuff, but I like being honest. I like the truth. And if you guys haven't figured it out, I like to be direct. I like to stick it right in your face and be like, smell this. But anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I will take a quick look, but the last time I looked, there wasn't much going on. I guess even protesters enjoy Thanksgiving. So just a moment, I'm going to take a quick gander, and we'll see where we're going to go from here. All right. Well, just like I thought, there is nothing going on here. So yeah, it was really cool to have you guys here. Thank you for entertaining our discussion here. I really appreciate all the feedback and everybody's different opinions. After this goes down, if you guys get bored in an hour or two, just come back to this video and just check out everybody crying in the comments, because that's what I do. If I'm, taking a crap or, sitting in the drive-thru, I like to see all the people crying in my chat. It fuels my love tank. Makes my love tank full, seeing all that crying going on. And thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for being awesome hooligans. I don't believe we had any donations this round, but I appreciate everybody for joining the membership program. Anybody that's purchased any merch, thank you guys so much. You guys are what's keeping the channel going. You are why I can do this every day, and I really appreciate all of you. I hope you have the best Thanksgiving ever. I hope your food is awesome. I hope you don't hear a whole lot of ignorance and crybabying all over your internet and stuff while you're watching TV and hanging out online, just feeling full and tired. I'm not sure what we're going to do tomorrow. I'm not sure if there's even going to be anything on. I'm going to go live. I know that. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe I'll sing you a song. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll take shots together. Maybe we'll do Thanksgiving shots. That sounds like an idea. Either way, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of your support. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night. I will see you tomorrow.